Personally, I wouldn't want to pick KL Rahul. Primarily for the runs he scored, they were a lot, obviously, but they weren't match-winning runs.
It's been a marvellous game here.
Carlos Brathwaite, remember the name. We'll have won the World Cup by the barest of margins.
Holding finishes off in style.
What a player. What a wonderful player.
The Cricket Company Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cricket Company Podcast. So Tanveer, quite a sad day for us. I mean, another day without having to watch an IPL game, right? No, nothing to see at 7:30.
Yeah, it's so boring right now. Literally don't know what to do at all. Like IPL was a sorted season.
Yeah, I mean, 56, 6, whatever, 30, 40, 45 days, you had something to look forward to. Now it's just random. You switch on the TV, you don't know what to do. Watch some movie, watch some highlights. I mean, that's what we are doing. We're just going back to the older matches, right?
True, watching IPL old matches is the thing now. And I think that's why we are here right now to make our best 11 for this IPL.
So Tanveer, we'll first discuss the openers. Then we'll move down to our middle order, number 7, and then bowlers. Okay, so for my first opener, will undoubtedly be Shikhar Dhawan. He had quite a mixed bag of a season. I mean, he scored 4 half centuries, 4 ducks, and 2 centuries as well. And despite having a mixed bag, he ended up scoring 620 odd runs at a strike rate of 145. And I think he overall had a very spunky season. He started off slowly but picked up towards the end very well. So Shikhar Dhawan will be my number 1 opener. To partner him, I do not have KL Rahul. I do not have Mayank Agarwal, but it is David Warner. Now give me 30 seconds. I'll tell you why. Because we are choosing the team from the designated players, and the captain has to be from someone who was a captain of the teams. Warner will also be my captain for this team. He led a side which was faced with a lot of injuries. He led a side which did not have as many star players. And despite him not being in form, he still ended up scoring 520 odd runs. And you saw in the last 4-5 games where he was partnered with Saha, he did show his aggressive best. So perhaps he was, he got up form, but when given the opportunity, he played really well. So I think, and plus, if you see it in that sense, Warner and Dhawan had formed a very successful partnership for SRH till 2018. So that is something you can consider. What do you think about these exclusions, especially of KL Rahul?
Personally, I wouldn't want to pick KL Rahul. Primarily for the runs he scored, they were a lot, obviously, but they weren't match-winning runs. In the start of the tournament, Mayank Agarwal was scoring quickly, and therefore no one realized that KL Rahul was playing so slowly. But towards the end of the tournament, as we all saw, KL Rahul got a lot of criticism for the rate at which he was playing. Like, okay, you want to anchor the inning, but in a T20, you can't anchor at the rate of 110, 120. You have to be around 130, 140 to anchor an inning as well. So I wouldn't pick KL Rahul personally.
Okay, so at least there's an agreement over there, because you've been seeing the experts' opinions and everyone's been picking Rahul purely on the volume of runs. And like you said, if you see the stats as well, he scored 670 runs, great, but he had an overall strike rate of 129. And if you remove that scintillating innings he played against RCB, where he scored 132 of 70 odd balls, he has a season strike rate of 120. And like you said, even if you're anchoring, that rate is just too low. What happens is he tries to accumulate runs, but at the same time, he's putting pressure on the other guys to score faster. And that happened a couple of times towards the end, 30 of 27, 40 of 35. So I agree with you. I don't think he was playing the kind of T20 game he's capable of. And that is a shocking thing, because he had likes of Gale, Purana in the second half as well, right? So I think he just took that approach. He went too deep into it without really it reaping any benefits for him. So I think Dhawan and Warner. Agree with me, Dhawan and Warner?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so who will be your 3, 4, 5, 6 then? 3, 4, 5, 6.
3 and 4, the Mumbai Indians duo, Suryakumar Yadav and Ishan Kishan. They had a brilliant season. The champions became the champions thanks to these two guys. So 3 and 4, definitely those two. Number 5, AB de Villiers, had another brilliant season with Bangalore. I personally think wasn't utilized at his best. He could have been utilized better perhaps in this season.
In what sense?
Play that much.
In what sense?
I mean, there were a couple of games where I felt he could have come before. And then, like, there were those things where I thought maybe especially that one game which everyone was talking about where he came in at 6. That game was-
I'll never agree with anyone. I thought the strategies worked, Tanveer. Go and see the stats. AB de Villiers was the third or fourth slowest scorer from 7 to 15 overs. So I think that is backed by numbers what RCB was trying to do. You know, because of people like you, they kept sending de Villiers in the middle overs in the latter games and they struggled. Moeen Ali would have done a better job, but that's for next time. De Villiers at 5. Okay, then 6.
We saw what Moeen Ali did when he came. That was a different story. but-
Two games, not justifiable. Okay, 6, number 6.
Number 6, Marcus Stoinis, hands down. Had a brilliant season. I think complete all-round performance, one of the best I've seen in a while. With the ball, he got, I think, those 12 odd wickets.
13, yeah.
And with the bat as well, he was brilliant. So Marcus Stoinis definitely.
I think I'll agree with you. For each player, I think 3 and 4 perfectly. Suryakumar Yadav and Kishan, I think they played the middle overs superbly. Kishan had a season strike rate of 145, average of 57, 36s, 500 runs. Which metric is he lacking in? I don't know. So that is perhaps a dream season, and that's not an overnight sensation. He's worked 4 years for that. Mumbai has worked 4 years on that. Suryakumar Yadav again brilliant. 5 de Villiers, yeah, he'll become a keeper as well. At the depth, there is someone who can get you 40 of 2 overs. You already saw that. 6, not Kieron Pollard. You'll go with Marcus Stoinis over Pollard and Pandya also.
For the sole reason, Marcus Stoinis bowled more. He can get you those wickets as well. Pollard did bowl, but Marcus Stoinis again is more capable of bowling and getting those wickets. So and plus Marcus Stoinis looked in complete control throughout the season, I'd say. Like finals, obviously, he got dismissed in the first ball, but he was contributing throughout for Delhi. And again, like for Mumbai, they had the supporting characters, and Pollard was a lot of times coming in the end and smashing those runs, while Marcus Stoinis, in some sense, was carrying Delhi throughout the death overs.
Fair,
That's why I'll give it to Stoinis.
Yeah, I would also have gone with Marcus Stoinis, correct. Number 7, we come to the all-important number 7. Who's your number 7, Tanveer?
I think a lot of people may be surprised, but Rahul Tewatia for me, he may not be the best looking player. You don't feel like he has a brilliant game or something, but he did his job perfectly. He bowled 3 to 4 overs in almost every game, quietly went through his overs, and in batting, everyone saw what he was capable of. And I don't think it was just luck. He demolished Rashid Khan. Now that can't just be luck. So I'd give it to him. Number 7, a good pick for me.
But I think see what number 6 and number 7, you need guys who can bowl and bat to a decent extent. And like you said, Tewatia may not seem to have the best game. He's not going to play those beautiful cover drives or hit those massive sixes, but he'll clear the boundary. He'll get you the runs. I think he scored 250 odd runs, picked 10 wickets, economy of 7, strike rate of 130, 140. You cannot ask anything better for a guy who's coming in at 7. So again, we are agreeing at number 7. Okay, now I'll start with my bowlers. I think it's a good season for bowlers because you had longer boundaries. Apart from Sharjah in the initial games, you had longer boundaries. You had good pitches for the bowlers. So number 8, the MVP of the season, Jofra Archer. Number 9 will be Yuzvendra Chahal. We'll discuss the guys we are leaving out, but Chahal for me at number 9. Number 10 has to be T. Natarajan for me. I think he's the find of the season. 70 odd Yorkers, I think 3 times more than what anybody else bowled. And number 11, I think Jasprit Bumrah, which means for my 4 foreigners, I have Warner, de Villiers, Stoinis, and who am I missing out? Archer, which means we're leaving out the orange cap as well as the purple cap. Now, before any bricks are thrown at me, who are your bowlers? Do we agree on this?
Yeah, I think I'll agree with this. Getting an Archer in at 8 not only gets you that good bowling, but he did bat well as well. He got those end runs for Rajasthan. So that gives us batting till 8 as well. Because after that, we have our pure bowlers. So getting Archer gives us that balance as well. And again, as you said, we didn't pick Rabada. For me, even Bolt had a better season than Rabada. Bolt did not get as many wickets as Rabada, but he got the crucial wickets and he performed in the crunch games. Like against Delhi, in the final, he got 3 wickets. In the qualifier 1, we saw you bowled only 2 overs, but in the first over itself, he got...
Upfront is the most important word. He got wickets up front. So, for me, leaving out Rabada was purely because he got 20 wickets from 16 to 20. He got 10 in the first 15, 20 in 16 to 20, and we saw in the SRH game, he got a lot of I won't say free, not waste wickets, but free wickets, because guys were coming out and swinging, especially in chases. When the game was like 40 of 20, they had to go after Rabada. And he just got them caught at long on or something like that. He was not beating them. He just got them caught. So no doubt he had a great season. But like you said, Archer would be a notch above, and perhaps Bolt as well. What about Natarajan? And so you left out Rashid Khan also in this. I have left out. So you're agreeing with the 4 bowlers,
Yeah,
right?
I
Or
was just coming to that.
are you agreeing with the 4 bowlers?
Yep, I agree.
Okay, so Rashid Khan,
No,
what
agreed.
is your justification for leaving out Rashid Khan?
So while Rashid Khan was very economical, I would definitely agree he had a very good season. But then again, if you look at Chahal, he did a similar kind of job. Maybe he wasn't as economical, but he also went at, I think, near 7 itself, and he got the wickets. And
Right.
okay, AB de Villiers, we still spoke about maybe it was strategy, but Chahal wasn't utilized well. I think everyone unanimously was agreeing on this. Chahal, at times people did not understand where it was going wrong, but Chahal wasn't used, and he still did very well. So Chahal definitely, Natarajan, as you said, the number of Yorkers he bowled and left arm angle also, he gives you that option. And Bumrah picks himself. So I think
Absolutely.
the bowlers are there.
Correct. Agreed. I agree on the Chahal point, not because he was being taken out of the attack randomly, not being given the crunch overs where he could really perform to his potential. So okay, so we will just go through it once again. Warner as our captain along with Dhawan. The middle order, Tanveer, you tell me the middle order.
Sky at 3, Kishan at 4, we have ABD at 5, Marcus Stoinis at 6, and Tewatia at 7.
And keeper is AB de Villiers, and we have a backup keeper in Kishan in the 11 as well.
Yep.
So that is sorted. And bowlers, we have Jofra Archer, T. Natarajan, Chahal, and Jasprit Bumrah. The options are endless, right, in this team?
Do I agree? Like, the batting and the bowling is complete. Like, you don't find loopholes in this team. And even after this, if we make a honorable mentions 11, I feel that will also be equally strong. So that's the kind of season a lot of people had a brilliant season this time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, we are emphasizing on the fact that we have a strong captain. A lot of people have just ignored they've just given the captaincy for the sake of it, not on the basis of actually how these guys captain. Captaincy is plays a big role. So I think we have a great team on the table. And so I think this is our 11 for IPL 2020. It was quite an eventful year, right?
Yeah, definitely. One of the best IPL seasons for sure. Excitement all around. And I think the build-up was also there and it lived up to all the hype. So yeah, brilliant season.
Absolutely. So guys, this was our best playing 11 for IPL 2020, the 13th season. There will of course be different opinions, arguments, disagreements, but everything is welcome. And we would want to know what is your best playing 11 for this season.
Yeah, definitely. We will be replying to the comments. So let's see where we are thinking matches and where are the differences. So guys, we hope you all liked this video. You all know the drill. Like, share and comment. And do subscribe and click on the bell icon for more videos from the Cricket Company. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
The Cricket Company Podcast.